Hello my scrappy friends, welcome to my channel today. As you can see, I have a piece of white cardstock here. I am working on my newest page for Colour Blast. I have applied a really quick thin coat of white heavy gesso to the whole background. I have an idea-ish kind of in my head of what I'm going for here. I'm going to do a couple of layers and then I am going to add colour. So I hope you enjoy and I will speak to you in my voiceover. Thanks! Okay, so first off I am pulling out the stamps that I am going to use on my background here. And I'm just going to stamp them lots of times straight down the middle on a vertical, vertical. And yeah, I'm just going to stamp them and stamp the excess ink off as I go. I am going to apologise in case you can hear the power tools going in the background. It is the weekend and Alan is busy working in the workshop for boxes. We've got lots of orders. So as you can see, I am just randomly stamping these stamps all over the background. These are all stamps from Viva Las Vegas stamps. I love them. In my blog post I do say that none of these have had ink on them before, so yay! This stencil I recently purchased and I love it. It is so cool. I saw it and went, oh, I have to have that, and then I used it on a challenge layout last week or the week before and I really love it. It's so awesome. Just using some light modeling paste here, putting it through my stencil, and then I'm going to pop it aside to air dry. Now I am only stenciling over the top of where the stamping is. That was intentional. So here I have got all that modeling paste dry. Yes, it's dry. And I'm just using my colour shimmer dusts. I've got Peacock, Navy, Cobalt and Duke. And I am literally sprinkling the tiniest amount of dust onto my background page. And you can't see it, but it is definitely there and you will see the magic in just a minute. I've tried this technique multiple times and I always get caught up in the it's not quite right. I don't like this and I don't like that about it. And you'll see that I clean it up a bit as I go. And I will explain when I get there. But so here is the magic. Those tiny little amounts of powder and I've got all this colour. You can see all the different blues there and I'm just tilting the page with the water and getting it to spread between all the lines in the stencil, adding a bit more water when necessary, and you can see there I made a big mess, and that's what I'm talking about. So there's lots of water on the page, and because I've guessed it, it sits on top. It gives me time to do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is use my paper towel and clean it up. So yay for gesso and cleaning up the mess that you're not happy with. Now I'm not opposed to mess, but not where I don't want it. So the other beautiful thing about using gesso on this page is I was able to go back in and get the excess colour that I couldn't get off with the paper towel off. I'm just using a baby wipe and you can see I'm quite literally just rubbing it along the paper and picking up the colour that I don't want there. So I'm really happy with that. I printed this photo when I printed another photo for another project, and I've decided that's what I'm going to use. You can see there I just gave it a thumbs down. It's not really obvious on the camera, but to my eye it was really obvious. That Duke shimmer, it's not spray, that shimmer dust can come up more purple than blue depending on, and especially with these shimmer dusts, if you haven't used them you get this whole array of colours when you sprinkle them on. It's pretty cool actually. So those two spots were more purple than I had anticipated or wanted, so I just went straight over the top with, I think it was the navy. You can see I'm just adding extra colour here. I think that might be the cobalt, but I'm not certain. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of the peacock, I think, in a couple of places. Again, I'm just tidying up where I've got extra colour where I don't want it. I don't know what my children are doing, but Sounds like they're having fun. They're not arguing. So that's the peacock, and you can see there, I'm just adding that water. And you can see how that stencil then pops up. It looks awesome. Now, I did start this page on a vertical, and you will have seen from the photo at the beginning that it's now on the horizontal. Now, I trimmed off both edges, you could see that, and then I had to go find this. I was looking for this particular bit of paper. I had like a 2-inch strip. It was a bit of a fiasco getting it back to 12 by 12, so that's why I've cut all that bit out. But it's 12 by 12 now. I'm happy. We're good. So this is where I decided I'm going to turn my page. And I was like, oh dear, I left a gap right in the middle where I thought I was going to be going vertically, but I can work with this. So I've got this is plain white cardstock and a brand new stamp set. This is the Title Builder #1 by Alice Studio. And I'm just going to stamp out my title using black VersaFine ink. Pretty sure I speed this up so that you don't have to watch it, or I've cut it out or something. So I'm just inking that up, cleaning my fingers off because I get that ink everywhere, and stamping. Not happy with the first impression, so I give it a go again. I got the Tim Holtz stamp platform for Mother's Day. I'm so excited. Can't wait to use it. But this was before Mother's Day, so I'm using what I've got. Cleaning off my stamps. Now the word these is another stamp, but it was overlapping just because of the way the stamps are made, so I had to restamp that separately. I'm going to give you a close-up in slow motion, I think. Enjoying these awesome moments. I really like the way that came out. If I was to do this again, I would move everything over a tiny bit to the left-hand side, but still have it right justified. I really like how this came out. Drawing some lines, getting my journaling down. I figured I would finish that card off before I stuck it to anything. I had a gap at the bottom that I thought I would fill with another stamp, and I found another stamp, and I can't remember what it says. No, it's gone. You'll see in a minute. It'll be a surprise. So I do stamp that also in the blank black ink. Important, that's what it says. And then I'm going to colour it with some shimmer dust. And I'm using the peacock here. Now, I intentionally made this messy painted. Someone else did it on a video I watched recently. I thought it looked really cool. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I do cut this out because you don't need to see my big fat head the whole time. And I'm going to add a few splatters on the top of that card just so it all ties in nicely. I used my heat tool to dry it. I'm mounting my photo. So I'm going to mount my photo and my journaling and title card on that black piece of paper that's there. Use my scissors to trim down that black paper. There hubby goes again with the power tools. I'm sorry if you can hear them. It's not much fun, but it is what it is. I decided to distress the edges of the paper here. I do try to pull my 3x4 card up and go not too hard. So I just ruffle it up, tear it in a couple of places, and pretty much call that enough. Call it messy enough. While I was doing that, I saw that that leftover piece and thought, oh, I know what will be fun. I'm going to punch a notebook edge and have an extra little layer. So that's exactly what I did. Doesn't add a lot, but it just adds a little detail, and I really like it. At this point, I realized that I hadn't pulled anything to embellish with. I was like, what am I going to do? I don't want to cover up too much of that background, but I do want to embellish at least a little bit. So I dove into my Cocoa Vanilla Studio You Rock collection. Must stop hoarding these things. use my tiny attacher. So you can see here, and I've super sped this up because I don't end up using lots of the bits I get out. And you can see that it doesn't just fall together. I wish it did. It doesn't always, but there's lots of back and forward and moving around and shuffling this here and moving that there and seeing if that fits. And no, I don't like that. And yes, I like that. But I thought I'd leave all this process in at super fast forward so that you could see it. That without the circle at the top is pretty much how it ends up, but I do move things around a bit more and see what I can get in, and yeah, as we do. What am I doing? Trying another star circle. No, no, no. Let's go back to what we had. Try another flare badge. No, don't like that. I'm going to stamp my date, so it pretty much ends up exactly how I had it earlier, which is almost what I started with. When will we ever learn that lesson? It's okay. Again with the tiny toucher. And I am just ruffling up all the edges on everything here, just using my nail, and I'm pretty sure I cut most of that out for you because you don't really need to watch it. It's not that exciting. So I've added some black and white twine to that tag, and I've decided the tag's stuck down, and I've decided to add a bit more stamping on top of that colour. I feel like the stamping got a bit lost in the background, and though I've got the black in the photo and on the paper layers, I just felt that it was a bit too separated. So I've used another Viva Las Vegas stamp and just stamped all over the background there behind my main cluster. Some white cotton. This seems to be my new favourite thing at the moment. We'll roll with it. Not happy with that. Bunch it all up in the top corner. Add some more. And then some Scotch tacky glue to stick it all down. So I have ruffled up the edges on all of those little labels and stuck those down. Because of the gesso and the mixed media in the background, I have used my wet glue. I'm just sticking down a few of the crossover bits of my thread. And I'm adding some thread behind my flare badge just to bring some more. It's kind of an aqua-y, kind of like that peacock colour actually. It's almost exactly the same. Thread behind my flare badge. I think that's it. Oh, I'm going to attach my my twine just for something different. All done. So that's my page. I'm really happy with how it came together. When I started this, I had no idea what photo I was going to use, what story I was going to tell. I just knew that I wanted to play with my shimmer dust and make a bit of a mess. I have done this before and I haven't loved it. I did mention that. So I really encourage you, if you've done something before and it didn't turn out how you wanted, give it a go again. You might find, you know, a bit of practice, a bit of experimenting, and you'll get exactly what you're after or something better. So as always, thank you ever so much for stopping by. That close up there is the only one that you can really see any of the shimmer, but those shimmer dusts are so shimmery and beautiful. Thank you very much for stopping by. I will be back again with another share. So until then, happy scrapping and make sure you get messy. Bye!